George, welcome.
Namaste. Hi, Tom, and everyone.
Namaste, hello.
Right.
Welcome again. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. Yeah, I've got a question, but I'd like to read the invocatory verse as well, if that's all right.
Of course it is.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you. O Sri Ramana, bestow your grace upon me, so that I may, in experience, flawlessly attain the unequaled and unsurpassed essence of the practice of self-knowledge. The excellent path, who am I, which you have discovered to be the central and foremost among all the various paths. O Sri Ramana, the heart, who through your grace protects me at every moment by guiding me along the correct path, rise from within and teach me the true import of your divine and unequaled teachings, so that I may know them in their undefiled, pristine purity.
Thank you, George. Welcome again. Do you have a question or anything you want to say? You're very welcome to. And I appreciate you raising your hand because you wanted to say something.
Thank you. It's feels weird to break the silence. It's so nice. But yeah, I've got a question. Um, yeah, it's about reincarnation, um, which is, I suppose, a lower teaching. And I was trying to find what Ramana says about it, and there's quite little that I could find, which I suppose could indicate the amount of importance he gives to it. Um, so he says in talks that the real self is continuous and unaffected. The reincarnating ego belongs to the lower plane, namely thought. It is transcended by self-realization. Reincarnations are due to a spurious offshoot. Therefore, it is denied by the Buddhists. The present state is due to a mixing up of the chit, sentient, with jada, insentient. So I couldn't quite understand this from Ramana. Um, so I guess the first bit, that it's the real self is continuous and unaffected, is kind of like, yeah, it does sound like the Buddhist idea of transcending the cycle of birth and death. But then this reincarnations are a spurious offshoot. I'm not sure what that means. And therefore it is denied by the Buddhists. Um, because I think in some Buddhist teachings, I guess they deny the jiva, the individual um, ego. And then, but then is it according to Ramana, is jiva the what it is that reincarnates? Because I always was confused by the Buddhist idea of reincarnation, where they say there's no individual. So what could it be that reincarnates? I think they say like mental continuum or something like this. Um, and like I suppose it's like, why is this question coming up for me anyway? If it pertains to ego, pertains to Maya. And I suppose it's because as a seeker, I'm still in, the body mind world persists. And I guess I would like some, I don't know, some solace that, if I practice for 60 more years and then there's no liberation, that hopefully in the next lifetime or the next six lifetimes at some point, it'll happen. So maybe for that. But then if there was just this one um, life compared to if there was infinite lifetimes, how would that affect my practice and what I do? Maybe it would just continue exactly the same. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's it's a bit of a long question, but that's my question. Thank you.
Thank you, George. These satsangs are here for you. Whoever's listening, it's this satsang's for you. You're not here to help others primarily, is my suggested attitude that you take. Suggested attitude I recommend you take is this satsang is for you. It means if everybody's enjoying the silence, but you want to ask a question, consider asking a question. Maybe allow a bit of silence at the beginning, but George waited what, 50 minutes or something? An hour, perhaps? So this is good. So I'm very pleased he did that. He had a question. He's asked his question. Someone, maybe someone else in the satsang's pissed off. That's their problem. Maybe someone say, "Ah, ruin the silence." It's their problem. First of all, you are the self. None of this is real. Exactly, Atlas. We can always mute the audio. That's the great thing about Zoom. We can always turn the volume down. And it's always good training to be disturbed every now and again. It's good training. I hope you understand that. I'm sure everyone here understands that. First of all, you are the self. None of this is real. All of this is totally unreal. The idea that you're a person and you're talking to another person, there's George and he's talking to Tom, and then someone else is listening, and this is all total fabrication, not real at all. Know yourself. You cannot know yourself in the dream. You cannot know yourself in the waking state. You have to go to that place which is there prior to the dream, prior to the waking state, prior to the arising of phenomena. The jiva, the apparent person, they cannot know anything true. They can know apparently true things about the appearances, which we call Maya or the world, but these are all false. These are all false ultimately. And we are concerned with the ultimate truth, not relative truth, primarily, because that is what frees, that is what liberates. Reincarnation is the reincarnation. If you can, who cares? Who cares? Do you want to know the truth or do you not want to know the truth? If you can, say who cares and forget this question. Ignore this question. What does it matter? Do you want to know the truth or not? Do you want liberation or not? Well, if you want liberation, be still. Discover the reality that you are prior to the arising of phenomena, thoughts, feelings, the sense of the body, the sense of a person, the sense of others, the world, etc., etc. The only way is through silence, not through words, not through concepts, not through being clever, not through being smart. Just by being still, discovering what the reality actually is, which has nothing to do with the body mind. But the question may still persist as it has for George. And we can say then that Maya will continue to exist. Maya will continue to exist, meaning the body, mind, world appearance will continue to exist until liberation. Because the body, mind, world appearance, also known as Maya or illusion or the world, is ignorance. That is ignorance. That is the false knowledge. It is all false knowledge. None of it is true. It's like a hallucination. You may hallucinate lots of things. You may hallucinate that you've met this famous person or that famous person, but it's not true. It's false knowledge. It's not true knowledge. It's false knowledge. Oh, I met this famous person. I had a chat to them. They said I was amazing. In your hallucination, this is false. It didn't actually happen. This is what the waking and dream states are like. Waking and dream means arising of phenomena. So this will continue. So what it means, George wanted reassurance that his practice will bear fruit. Yes, your practice will bear fruit. If you die, then the Maya will find a way to continue. Otherwise, you could attain liberation through physical death. Through committing suicide, you could attain liberation if Maya did not continue after death, you see. But we obviously don't recommend that at all, not in one bit, and it doesn't work. So that is called reincarnation. It means that after death, apparent jet death, let's say of natural causes of the body mind, Maya will continue in some form, and we call that reincarnation. And every effort will bear fruit. Means everything you try and do to help yourself realize the self, it will help you karmically. And no effort is lost. But until the deed is fully done, until the self is fully realized, the karma or maya or ignorance, the illusion, the appearance will continue, and with it, duality, confusion, suffering. There's only one refuge we have, and that refuge is not in the dream. It's solely our true self. Does that answer the question, George? Or tell me if it doesn't, please. Oh, the spurious offshoot. It's just the ego, the jiva, as you say. It means it's the ignorance. It's the result of ignorance. The Buddhists do admit to reincarnation. The Buddhist idea of nirvana, escape from samsara, this is not just a Buddhist concept, this is a Hindu concept too. Before it was a Buddhist concept, it was a Hindu concept. So it's the same concept in both Buddhism and Hinduism, essentially. Or when I say Hinduism, I mean the Vedic teaching. It was never called Hinduism, of course, at that time. Any other questions, George? Or if please feel free to follow up if I haven't fully explained everything.
Very happy with that answer. Um, just one little thing of the um, so then do Buddhists believe in a jiva then?
Well, you see, do the Hindus, to use that word for the Vedic schools, do the Hindus believe in the jiva? Do the Buddhists believe in the jiva? Do the Hindus believe in ignorance? Do Hindus believe in the false self or the unreal self? Do the Buddhists believe in the unreal self, the false self? Do the Hindus believe in it, George?
I guess no, because it's not real.
Exactly. So when you say, do they believe in the jiva, they point, I get in one way, no, because it's not real. And the other way, yes, because they're saying what you think you are is not what you are. So they believe that your body mind identity is false.
Mm.
And they believe the body mind identity gives rise to the entire illusion of body mind world, cosmos, also known as samsara, or karma, or maya. These are all synonyms. So both the Vedic schools and the Buddhist schools posit this typically. There are some later Buddhist schools, the intellectual schools, that say actually, see, the original Buddhist teachings say the body mind world cease in liberation. But the later schools say actually all that ceases in liberation is the psychological suffering ceases. The body mind world continues. But these are the intellectual teachings. You won't find any scriptural grounding for this, good scriptural grounding for this.
Mm.
We've seen the same with tantric schools. We see the same with all the genuine teachings. The early ones are very radical, and then later the intellectuals corrupt it. But yes, essentially, they believe in the jiva. They believe that the jiva is false. Make sense?
Mm. Yeah, so it's essentially the same teaching then
Same teaching.
in the early Buddhist.
In the, I didn't hear that last bit.
But that was it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, exactly. It's essentially the same teaching.
Okay.
I've seen it
Thank you.
written. Thank you, George. Again, thank you so much for your question. Appreciate it. I've seen many scholars, both on the Vedic side and the Buddhist side, saying definitely there are different teachings. There's no way you can say they're the same teaching. No way. They're so adamant. But when you read it, you can see it's the same. You can see it's the same teaching. I've said before that you read the Upanishads, you read one Upanishad, the teaching's very different. Then you read another Upanishad, the teaching's very different. You read a third Upanishad, the teaching's different. They seem so different to each other. But no one claims, or very few people claim, that these Upanishads are teaching different things. The exposition, the explanation, the methodology, it seems so different from one Upanishad to the next. But it's the same topic attacked from different angles, using different words, different concepts, different approach, but the same fundamental teaching. And you can see my articles on this on tomdas.com. One of the introductory articles talks about this. Again, thank you, George.
So it's just, I thought I heard you say to George that if the body dies before liberation, then Maya will continue. Now, did I imagine that? And if not, what did you mean by that? Because I found that very.
Well, what was that? Yes, that's what I said. That's called reincarnation. I think that's what I said. That's what is called reincarnation.
Ah,
The dream continues until you go turn inwards, realize yourself. If the body dies prior to you realizing the self, the Maya will continue.
but who does it continue to? If the body's dead and there's no reincarnation, then why this continuing? I mean, the body isn't real to begin with, so
What's the
this can
question? Can you reformulate the question, please?
you're saying Maya continues if
Is
the
my is
body dies.
is Maya a person? Is Maya a body mind entity? What
Maya doesn't really exist, according to Ramana's teachings, which I kind of don't have a direct experience of, but I accept it.
yeah. And then in terms of your experience of Maya, Maya is the appearance of a body, mind, and world, and the appearance of living as a person in that world. Appearance of living as a body, mind, in a world, right?
Yeah.
So that will basically continue until self-realization. The dream, the dream will continue until self-realization.
Saying
Duality will continue until ignorance is removed, is the point.
I'm confused by this.
What's confusing about that? It's like you're in the cinema, you're watching a movie, the movie is an illusion. The movie will continue forever, ad infinitum. The movie never ends. There are continuously pictures on the screen until you realize your true nature.
Or if you die, but
But that's because you think you're the body mind. You're thinking, oh, when you die, but you're not the body mind. You're looking at it from the point of view of I'm a person. So if I die, then how can Maya continue? But you're not a body mind. You're let's say you're the screen of consciousness.
Point of saying Maya can continue.
Sorry? It
What's the
could
point of Maya will continue if it doesn't even exist in the first place? Why
because
would you say?
because George asked me about reincarnation. That's why.
All right, so I mean, if you're saying that reincarnation, what did you say
It's like
now?
saying, look, if you said to me, girl, look, um, if I fall over hard on my knee, is there a chance my knee could bleed? Right? If you ask me that question, right? Or if you say, if I'm climbing a tree and I fall off a tree, could I break my arm or leg? Yeah. You ask me that question. I say, you know what? Truly, you're the self. That's the first thing I said to George when he asked me about reincarnation. I said, truly, you're the self. But yes, relatively speaking, if you fall off a tree, you can break your arm, you can break your leg, you can cut yourself, right? And then someone says to me, Tom, why have you said you can cut your knee when the body mind's an illusion? Someone else says, well, Tom, why did you answer that way? Why have you answered that you can cut your knee when the body mind's not real? And I say, well, it's because they asked me about falling out of a tree. Yeah. So you're saying, why am I saying Maya continues? It's because the question was about does Maya is about reincarnation, which is when Maya continues after death of the body, apparent death of the body. See, when Maya continues is another way of saying reincarnation occurs, but it's not actually reincarnation. Even this
Okay,
even what we consider to be time is completely illusory. So the idea that we're actually living a life in time is completely false. So you think you're Gail and you woke up this morning and you go to sleep this evening and you've had a life and you're this many years old. All of this is total illusion. Even this is not real in the way you think it is at all. So on that
okay,
level, I've answered the question. Does that make sense?
yeah. So, I've been reading this series of books, and it has a lot,
Why are you
it's
saying why are you saying you've read a series of books if Maya's not real, Gail?
it's a question about Buddhism that
But
is
why
taught
why are you talking about Buddhism if Maya's not real?
because there's something about these books. It's a conglomerate. It's based on the Tibetan Buddhism that's taught by the Dalai Lama, and they talk a lot about reincarnation. They also talk about things that sound very much like non-duality.
Hmm.
That a pure knowing of the self that's totally separate from unimagined a person who just has all these beliefs about what they are and they're totally mistaken and they can change their life by changing their belief and being that they're getting rid of the body mind identification. So there's so much that I resonate with, and yet I'm still kind of trying to make sense of the whole thing. How can they be saying both things? And so I don't know.
Hmm.
That's why I'm so steeped in this. I've been reading it for like a month, a series of books, and they're very entertaining and beautiful and uplifting and at times very funny. But I there's some reason why I know these teachings that I'm reading about have some relevance to me. And I don't know what that is, but it gives me this tremendous interest. So, when George asked this question, I thought, wow, that's interesting. That I'm glad he asked that question. But so anyway, that's why I'm asking. And if
Okay.
you have anything, if you have any knowledge of what kind of Buddhism that is, and if you can just tell me in a few words what
Well, that
they really believe in reincarnation, it seems like they must, given the way these books are written. So,
oh yes, I mean if you look at there are lots of different schools of Tibetan Buddhism. And there's so much philosophy in it as well. And even within the schools, there's lots of different aspects. And it's very highly systematized, the Tibetan schools. And you can kind of think of it as a fusion of sort of classical Buddhism and Vedanta teachings with some sort of esoteric mysticism added in for good measure. You know, you can kind of think of it like this, a lot of the Tibetan schools. Um, they almost all highly believe in reincarnation because this is what the Dalai Lama, for example, is. They believe the Dalai Lama, the present Dalai Lama, is an incarnation of the previous Dalai Lama. And when he was however years old, like I don't know how old he was he 4 years old or 3 years old? They found this young boy who is now the Dalai Lama, and they said, "Oh, he is an incarnation of the old Dalai Lama," you know? So they take it in a very literal way. So, and then the various schools, they have different ideas, but they all believe in reincarnation, typically. If you are drawn to a teaching, Gail, which you are drawn to this, there is almost certainly something there in it for you. As you said, what that is, that may be yet to be determined. But that's wonderful. I'm so pleased you're enjoying reading spiritual books, whatever those books may be, as long as they're wholesome and not making you do anything silly, which some of the Tibetan schools are can be a bit silly, you know, in places, in my opinion. They can become cult-like. You do see this. And you've seen it in many when some lamas, some of these lamas, some of these teachers have, some of these Rinpoches have come across the West and created what essentially are cults. So do have to be a little bit careful with some of them. But yes, I'm sure there's something there for you. Have you found anything useful in what you've read so far? That
Yeah,
you,
yeah, it actually helped me a lot in many ways. But I, it hasn't made a dent in my what I know about and believe, have come to accept in Ramana's teachings, and that's still what that's my life. My life is about these days, but it just, I know that, is like, it has to do with whatever this thing is that Ramana set in motion many months ago, where he wanted me to go outward and relate to people, to think more about other people than about myself. And that led to the volunteer work with an organization that focuses on loving kindness, and the spiritual director is recommended these series of books. Yeah, it's just I'm puzzled about why about my interest, but I'm loving it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it, and it's all very benevolent in these books. It's all beautiful. There's so much. It's one experience of transformation after another based on the teachings as they're described. And some of it is just, anyway, I don't want to, I think I said all I need to about the books and my reason for, I mean, I think it relates to this idea of having had a sense of a life purpose for myself many years ago and totally failing to accomplish the purpose, and some kind of thing that Ramana wants to clear up, some kind of vasanas that Ramana wants to clear out.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's my situation. And thank you for your answers.
Thank you for your questions, for your beautiful sharing as always. And yes, we all have our own way to these teachings and through these teachings, and our path can take all these wonderful twists and turns. And if you find some books, some teachings that are inspiring you, helping you feel better, making you feel more positive, giving you purpose, or whatever it is, this is wonderful. This is really good. And I wholeheartedly encourage that.
I mean, the one-to-ones with you have also been a big part of everything that's changing for me now. And all the satsangs, I'm very, very grateful to you, to Ramana. Thank you.